speaking of which, Dr. Umar, he
What's Dr. Umar up to nowadays?
so he was on Joe Budden's podcast, right? He was being interviewed, and he made a very, I think it's controversial statement that Eminem cannot be considered the best rapper because he's white. And black people have to be careful of other people coming to claim things that we've created. Now, obviously, I'm not saying it verbatim. I'm paraphrasing what he said. But in essence, that's what he's saying, right? Now, what I want us to do today, we can do it. So this is why I'm going to bring it up. What I want us to do today, I want us, and including Girl Hand, I want us to steel man Dr. Umar's arguments, because he's been making his rounds with this stupid argument about race, and I think he's a race hustler. I'm beginning to. It's very clear
That's
to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
term.
think he's a race hustler. I think he's a part of the race industry. I think he benefits from it, and I think that's what he's doing. But we'll get into all that. But what I want us to do first, I want us to steel man Dr. Umar's argument. Now, what do I mean by steel man? So there's a way we deal with arguments, right? And there's a way we deal with arguments that's when you present an argument, you present it as stronger than the argument is itself, right? So we want to take Dr. Umar's argument and we want to make it as strong as possible. What we actually think he meant by that, right? Now, what we don't want to do is we don't want to reason fallaciously. So a fallacy is an error in reasoning. Now, let me give an example. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want people to understand, because we do this all the time. Politicians do this all the time, and it goes over people's head because we don't know. You can't pick up a fallacy. So there's a fallacy called strawman fallacy. A strawman fallacy is a fallacy when you hear an argument and you present the argument weaker than it actually is. For example, I could say, dogs and cats are pets, right? However, I think dogs make a better pet because they're more loyal than cats, right? Cats are not properly domesticated. Therefore, they do not make a good pet. So my conclusion is going to be, I prefer dog as a pet, right? Someone could hear that argument and they could say, wait, Damion said dogs or cats are not loyal. And usually that's what happens. And when you hear that, you're going to say, wait, hold on, he did say that.
That happens all the time.
Right? But if you look into it, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
I made a comparison. I said dogs are more loyal than cats because cats are not properly domesticated. So premise 1 and premise 2, right, you're completely forgetting that. And you're jumping to the conclusion that I said cats are not loyal. I never said that. I said dogs are more loyal than cats. That's a straw man fallacy. That's what politicians they're masters at this. People do that all the time. We're not trying to do that with Umar. We're trying to do justice to him. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to make his argument stronger than it actually is. I'll start. What I think Dr. Umar is saying when he makes these claims, and Eminem claim is just one of many. You've heard many that he's made. What I think he's trying to do. So he's saying black people has gone through a lot of atrocities over time, right? We've gone through, slavery. From slavery, we've gone through a lot of prejudice, discriminatory behaviors. We've been oppressed. And even though we've gone through all these things, right, we still come through. We still fight through. You still have black people that are doing the most amazing things in the world. And you're like, how? How the hell are you're being oppressed? I'm trying to hold you down on purpose and you're just pushing yourself up. How? Because we're strong. So he's saying, black people, know yourselves. Know your strength, know your worth. Know what you have to offer. And because nobody else is going to protect you, you need to protect yourself. Therefore, things that you've created, that you're eating off, that you're benefiting from, make sure that you are protecting it with all your might. Because if you don't, you see how you just said, never again with the Jewish people? It's the same thing. You should be never again with slavery. We're not going back there, right? If you don't protect what you have, this is what's going to happen. You're going to lose it. Therefore, I'm saying to you that the things that you've created, like hip hop, do not allow someone who's not of your culture, not of your race, to come and dominate. Because of this, I don't think I can say Eminem is the best rapper because he's not of our culture. And because we're protecting what we have, we're going to just say, okay, you're good, you're fine, I can hear you, but you're not going to get that title, the best rapper. That's what I think he's saying. Now, I'll tell you whether or not I agree with him later, but that's me steel manning his argument. Did I do a good job? I think
I think you did a good job. And
Right.
I would agree with what you're saying. I think he's
Right.
saying that, you know, when you look back into history, there's lots of things that black people have invented or
Right.
created. However, they weren't recognized for it.
Right.
It's only recently where we're hearing, oh, this person created this, and whereas we always thought it was a white person who created it. So now that, you know, hip hop was created from a black culture,
right.
why allow someone else of a different culture to come steal it when they've stolen everything else?
Right.
And made it seem like if you allow Eminem, let's say, a white man to come and take over the hip hop industry, as you know, generations move on, it just becomes, oh, Eminem is the creator of hip hop, and it just
Right.
dilutes all the history that's come before it.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think my question for this is does this only matter, or maybe matter is not the right word, maybe relevant. Is this only relevant because of the specific dynamic of a white person trying to take over a black culture thing? And does it matter if it's the other way around?
Right. So,
yes.
so this is gonna that was actually gonna be my defense
Yeah.
of my stance. My stance is that Dr. Umar is a race hustler, and that was gonna be my defense.
Okay, so
Because we fully took over basketball.
yeah.
And can I just say, like, our argument was just so that we could, what was the word that you used?
Steel man.
We're just
So
steel
I was just
manning this.
right. I was just
Yeah.
presenting the argument in the strongest form
Right.
because
Yeah.
I don't want people to think that, oh, this guy's black and he's stuck. I don't.
Yeah.
So this is why I gave you the spiel for you to understand where I fully get what he's saying. I get it, but because I'm going to disagree with him, I just want to set that table. But
even though I disagree with him, and we probably disagree with him for the same reasons, given on what I was like, kind of the question that I just put forth.
right.
It's difficult for me to steel man his argument because for me his argument doesn't hold any ground. Because like Tiger Woods, Serena, and Venus Williams, or let's just say even Serena Williams, and Simone Biles, those three people alone, right? And like clearly white created culture, sports, and country club shit, not just white people, but rich white people shit. And black people have dominated that, right? So like, and that's why I asked the question, like, does it only matter because it's a white person dominating a black culture? And does it matter if it's the opposite? Because for me, it's difficult to even try to steel arm.
Devil's advocate, though. The people that you just named, Serena, Tiger,
And Simone Biles.
and Simone Biles,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, while they're clearly the best ever in those sports, they're not given that title.
They were.
No, they're not.
Especially Tiger Woods.
Historically, if you go through the way these people call these games, they're going to give Tiger Woods his credit, but he's not going to get the credit. What Umar is saying is that don't be careful of giving someone the credit for something that you've created, because they're not doing it to us. Right? It don't matter what you do.
So,
Jerry West is still the logo. Doesn't matter how good Michael Jordan and LeBron is.
Yeah.
Jerry West is still the logo. That's kind of where he's coming from.
So it matters. So the direction of the domination matters, is what you're saying.
The classification of it.
The classification of it matters. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it matters, then like, yeah, to play devil's advocate with his argument, like, yeah, like, you know, Eminem, I wouldn't even if it had nothing to do with race, I still wouldn't even call him the best rapper alive, or the best rapper ever. He's up there, but I wouldn't say he's the best.
Right.
But and that's just putting race aside. If Eminem, all things equal, if Eminem was black, I still wouldn't call him the best.
And I agree with you.
I
My
agree.
favorite rapper of all time is Biggie.
Yeah.
That's my favorite rapper of all time, and Tupac is right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z's right there.
Yeah.
Nas is right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all these people. Drake is pretty good too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But I agree with you. Even if he wasn't white, I wouldn't say he's the best rapper of all time. But some people do.
Yeah. No,
Right?
and that's fine. It's just, it's like to try to make us like, be careful of allowing let's say an outsider to come in and kind of dominate this that we've created. I think I'm just struggling with like really strong arming his or steel manning his
argument.
His argument.
You don't understand where he's coming from?
I understand where he's coming from.
You don't have to agree.
No. I understand where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I think there's something of it lacking that I struggle with. And one of those things is like, okay, so let's say I agree with his sentiment and what he's saying. Now, at the same time, is Dr. Umar also giving Jamaica its due credit for hip hop? Because hip hop is originally Jamaican culture.
Right. But
in America,
Jamaicans are black.
Sure, but in America, a lot of people distinguish that. A lot of people distinguish like black, which they're talking about African American descendants of slaves versus Caribbean.
Right. And you know his stance that black Americans are the
kind of like the highest
paramount black people.
American, or sorry, highest American, the highest black version of black. Yeah.
Yep. He thinks that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an imperialist.
Exactly. And so that's why I'm even struggling to like steal our.
But
like,
do you? But okay. So all right, fine.
Steal man. I keep saying steal our.
Do you? You say I know you respect him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still?
Yeah. Because like, Dr. Umar to a lesser extent is like Kanye in that like, he says a lot of disagreeable things, but then there's a lot of truth at the same time as well too, right? So, and at the end of the day, even though he may be going about it in a way that I would disagree with, or I would disagree with, some of or a lot of his comments, I still hold high respect for Dr. Umar, because at the end of the day, he's still creating these discussions. He's still bringing black issues to the forefront. I would love to see him, on panels with black people from different parts of the world to kind of get out of that imperialistic thing. But I still think he serves a positive and very respectable position in culture, society, black community.
I think most of the things he says are clout chasing things. I don't think it's respectable at all. If you can make and then I'm gonna judge you based on how you present.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's very intelligent. He's a very intelligent man. He's very knowledgeable. He's very cultured. He knows, like, it's not like he's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to make a claim, you're making it deliberately. See, if someone who doesn't know enough, if a redneck says, "Hey, nigger," I'm like, listen, you're not even making sense right now.
Yeah.
You can't even see your foot, like your belly's so big and you're so drunk. Like, I'm not even paying you no mind. It's something like, okay, fine, you can say nigger all you want. But if Jordan Peterson says nigger, then I'm gonna be like, okay, you're doing that deliberately because you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I'm gonna judge you based on your merits.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I don't have respect for Dr. Umar is because, and I'm saying Dr. Umar, and that's very respectful. He's kind of contradicting Umar.
Yeah, that sounded disrespectful.
So
whoa.
Yeah, we're so.
Umar.
Yeah, the reason why I don't I used to respect him when he first came out, but then afterwards I'm like, oh, this guy he's just trying to use race as a bait for his conversations. If you have strong points, just say your points. Stop baiting me into this race war. Why would you make a claim like that about Eminem, that he can't be the best? He could easily be the best in hip hop. I don't think he is.
Yeah, but there's an argument to be made.
Right, in that way, I'm agreeing with you. He's not the best because I don't think he is. But don't make it over race.
Yeah.
It's not because he's white why he's not the best.
Right.
It's because I think some people are better.
Yeah.
Now, if he was to say, Eminem he has good wordplay, but he doesn't make great songs, whatever, then I'll be okay, fine, that makes it. But you're gonna say because he's white? That's such a non-starter.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Because are you gonna be consistent with that?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Neesmith or whatever his name is, he started basketball.
Yeah, Naismith.
It's what I'm saying. So what are we gonna say? LeBron and Michael Jordan, like they can't be the best because he started it?
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And that's where like my circuits just kind of started blowing.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't
I'm
make sense at all. It's what I'm saying. Most of the things that people are doing, like we didn't start it. We're just picking it up, and we're just sick at it. So we can't be good because. So we got, what? I can't be too sick because I didn't start it. You know what I mean? It's not for my culture.
Yeah,
what?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And people shouldn't revere me if I'm really good because I didn't start it.
Did Joe Budden, did he press him like kind of on that?
I didn't watch the podcast. I just heard the comment that he made.
Oh, okay.
And I think Joe Budden took it down.
Oh.
The interview's down because obviously Joe Budden and Eminem used to be boys. I don't know if they're still friends. So I don't know. I just saw that the clip was down. They didn't post the interview anymore. I don't know what's going on. But I think there's a guy on Joe Budden's podcast. His name is Ish. I think he's mixed.
Yeah.
He looks half black, half white. So he's light skinned. He was pushing him.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
If I see that, I wouldn't watch it because I'm tired of Dr. Umar and his rhetoric. I'm just tired of it.
And that's actually what Dr. Umar's got to be careful of because and Kanye, since we're just talking about him, because like all the good stuff that they say gets clouded and turns people off from all the foolishness that they say. So by the time you do have something good to say, like people don't even want to hear you anymore, right? And Kanye, whatever, because he's an entertainer, even though that he has a much bigger voice than Dr. Umar. But Dr. Umar has a much more, I think, directly important place in society because he's a therapist and because he's an educator, particularly.
Is he a therapist?
Yeah.
Does he actually practice? I don't think he does. Does he?
Of black children, and particularly black boys.
Children?
I'm not sending my kid to him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're right.
I didn't know that.
But that's the thing, right? But parents are sending their children to him, and I don't know what's going on with his school, if his school is actually up and running. I know it's made
I've been hearing about this for 50 years now.
But still,
I'm going to be old before the school starts.
Regardless, right? LeBron James' school took a long time before it opened up, right? So
it's going.
It's going, and
it sucks.
And there are problems with it. But at the end of the day, at least we often come to what can we do to help ourselves, and at least they're trying to do something, right? So I give them even if it's taking long.
But it's counterproductive if you're just saying stuff, and two, you're saying stuff that brings us back.
But that's what I mean is that because Umar has this really important role in society that goes beyond just what you hear from him in his podcast and whatnot. That's where he's got to be careful, because even now, wherever his school is, if it, I'm not sure if it's fully opened or if it's going to open.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Whatever status it might be, all praises be that it does get open. You want people to be excited to send their children there. You want black people excited to send their children there and know that they're going to have a good, strong black education and not just spew out stupidness. Do I trust that? Yeah. Right now, I'm hopeful for it. Trust, I don't know.
But didn't we have an idea of some school like that in Toronto? What was it called again?
Yeah, we did.
Afrocentric school.
What was it?
The Afrocentric school.
Yeah, the Afrocentric school.
What happened to that?
The one at Keel and Shepherd.
Yeah.
It's still there?
I don't know if it's still running.
Did it open at all?
It did open. Yeah. It did open and was open for a minute.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm
it's
not
still...
sure if it's still operating as an Afrocentric school. I'd have to look into that, but it did open up.
Yeah, a lot of people were against that. A lot of black people were against it.
I mean, whether they were against it or not, that's fine. I think there's still value for a space like that being there. And I don't even understand why black people are against it, because you have all these different other cultural schools. You have Ukrainian
Well,
school, you have Jewish
The
school.
very basic argument is that they fought for integration. Why are we going back to segregation? That's
Yeah,
a
that
very
was a
basic
huge argument at the time that they were looking to open the school. But I
Yeah.
do think there were benefits if it's not still running.
Well, the reason why we don't hear about it is because it's not running very well, right?
That's
and
not necessarily true. It's just it just may just be.
Died.
well, if it was running very well and things were happening, people would be dying to send their kids there. I didn't hear anything until you just brought it up. I didn't even remember about that school. Now,
Let me look it up while we're here.
yeah, I don't know what's happening with that school, but for me, I don't trust Dr. Umar and his school because I don't trust him. I question his agenda. I question his motives. I also don't like the race hustling, and I know I've used that term a couple of times, but people who benefit from mentioning and bringing to light these, I think they're trivial things, right? You cannot talk about people's race when you're talking about, first of all, you're talking about oppression. You're saying you're an oppressed group, but then you're talking about people's race. It doesn't make any sense. It's contradicting behavior, right? So I don't trust his motive. But who am I? You know, I'm just Damion in Toronto.
Well, the Afrocentric school is still up and running.
Yeah, I'm seeing this article. It's from 2019, so pre-pandemic, but
So there's an application process. So if you go on the TDSB website, which is the Toronto District School Board, it says applications for September 2024 school year opens on January.
How many people go there?
Let's see if I can find that.
so this 2019. Okay, so the school opened in 2020. Or sorry, 2009.
2009, yeah.
And there's an article CBC from 2019 that's the headline says Toronto's Afrocentric school draws consistent praise. So why is enrollment? And then you click on it. So I guess why is enrollment flagging?
Oh, flagging.
Yeah. So
Why is what?
enrollment flagging? It says 107 students attend the school. So this is 2019, 110 students.
I don't hear anything about that school.
So that may change given the pandemic, and
Yeah.
so that number may look a little bit different today.
Well, if it's still going and it's going good, that's good.
Yeah.
Kudos.
I mean, I don't know how good it's going, but it is still
Because
going.
one of the reasons why I agreed with it, I disagreed for some reasons, but one of the reasons why I agreed with it was because a lot of things that we do in our culture gets lost when we go to regular schools. They don't talk. They either don't talk about it or they downplay it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't think a lot of kids here know about the involuntary workers, slavery. People don't know about that, and people need to know more about it. Right? This is an important part of our culture, right? Should we dwell on it? No, but you should know about it, and I don't think people here in North America know enough.
Yeah, it's talked about on a surface level. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You know, I remember it being in school. It was very surface level. It didn't go into the in-depth version of the history.
Right.
And it's only 1 month, Black History Month in February. I don't know what it's like now in the school systems, but definitely the surface level.
Right. So, and have you heard of this guy Thomas Sowell?
No, I don't think so.
He's an older intellect. You know, he's an intellectual, and he you could call him a philosopher too, but he's a very conservative type. You know, he's one of those black people who says, you know, like gangster rap and black people should pull up their pants. He's that type, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening to him when I was driving here today, and he made a very interesting point. You know, he's saying that, and this is just obviously a very short snippet of what he was saying, but he's saying that most homes that have two parents, right, the kids end up being more prepared for this life than homes that don't, right? And that's a fact in psychology, right? And in sociology and all that. But he's saying that one of the ways we can solve this cultural problem we're having as black people is by keeping the homes together. And if you don't do that, if we continue to have broken homes, we're going to continue to have this bad black culture that we have. Right? He considers a huge part of why, especially Black Americans, a huge part of why they're not successful is because of the subculture, the culture for Black people, right? No, some of it that he's saying he's just old. He's just an old man talking, but some of it has merit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, that's always a difficult conversation because, like, you know, two things can be true. So, like, A, are there men and Black fathers out there who are fucking around and doing all kind of stupidness that they shouldn't be doing? Yes. B, are there men who have fallen into the traps of the system which has forcibly broken up their family? Yes. Which has more weight? I'm not sure. On just by observations without any scientific analysis of it, it would seem like the latter. It would seem like the systemic destruction of the Black family is more prevalent than the self-destruction of the Black family. So if that does turn out to be true, or even if it isn't the majority, it's still a significant enough element to it that, like, you know, that needs to definitely be fixed, right? That definitely needs to be fixed. And, like, when I hear, you know, that example that the quote or the paraphrase quote, it sounds to me that it ignores one side of it, and it only just focuses on, like, the, you know, the self-inflicted
He's a
wound.
conservative. That's what they do.
True.
Yeah,
True.
Candace Owens.
Yeah.
You know, what's his name? Ben Carson.
Yeah.
All these guys. That's what they do. They just harp on one side of the coin.
Yeah.
And it sounds good if you don't know enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you're 100% right. But I just thought to bring it up because I thought it was interesting. You know how we don't harp. Well, what can we really do if a family's broken? It's broken.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can't force people to be together. But it's interesting to know.
Absolutely. And, you know, I was gonna say, because last week, after we had our conversation last week, I went away thinking of a thought that hit me that I didn't articulate on the show, and it kind of plays into the type of person that he is, where it's like, oh, pull up your pants and that type of thing, right? And then when I went home and I, you know, immersed myself in more, you know, stuff of what was going on in Israel and also too in Russia, I was like, you know, because last week we had the conversation about, like, how we present in the public and the responsibility we have to take for how we present, and that's where we had you know, differing opinions about that. But I was like, you know what, nobody has done more destruction to humanity and to this world than a man in a suit and a man in a uniform, right? And especially white men, but not only white men, right? And so, like, it kind of, whenever I hear that kind of rhetoric of, like, oh, pull up your pants or dress like this or don't dress like that, and I always, it, like, you know, it just hit me so clearly. I'm like, nobody has done more destruction to this world on so many different levels than men in suits and men in uniform, and those are the two most praised looks, so to speak, right? And it's like everybody else gets the blame for the destruction of society, the destruction of community.
I know what you're saying. I have 2 braids in my head right now. I have dropped down earrings. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as people see me, they're like, oh my God, here we go. Yeah. One more of these until I talk, and they're like, oh, okay. And you don't get that often enough. You have dreads. You know gonna say, here we go, another Jamaican buguyaga. That's what they're gonna say.
This.
That's why I love going to hockey games sometimes too, like, because people look at me and they're like, you're not the typical looking hockey fan, but it's great that you're here, like, you know what I mean? I feel that kind of energy, and I
that's crazy,
and I kind of, like, I revel in that kind of energy as well too, because it's like, yeah, like and fucking expand your mindset,
right?
you know.
But anyways, so Dr. Umar, you know, making that comment to me is just, it's deep on one hand, but it's fuckery. It's something like you can't race bait. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. Yeah. You know, I don't know what you guys think.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think the fuckery outweighs the depth that it could have been. So I just have to give it a fuckery.
All right, straight. Is there anything, any topics you wanted to bring up?
I mean, you know, funny enough, as we're talking about family dynamic and Black families, you know, Nick Cannon, over Christmas.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Nick Cannon, man, I don't know how this guy does it. Like, he was on Christmas. He went from house to house. Like, he went to about 5 of his different baby mama's house.
It's so ironic how we're talking about family and
I know,
and the black man and this guy,
right? But you know what's funny is like, because there's so many questions that can come out of that. Because, well, first of all, how does, like, yeah, you can fly state to state to state, because I think all his different families live in different states and whatnot, which is crazy in itself. And it's not like they're just down the street and you just, you know, just drive 2 minutes and whatever. The man actually has to get in a plane and fly and shit.
Does he have a jet? Does he?
Yeah, I'm sure he has a private jet. But even still, like, that's still a lot, right? Where's I going with this? Oh, why does Nick Cannon get a pass?
I agree. Why
He
does he get a pass?
He doesn't get a pass.
He kind of does.
I don't respect him.
Well, in terms of, like, people don't like those sort of negative stereotypes or associations that are often given onto black people before you really know about them. Mm-hmm. Nick Cannon doesn't get that. But
I don't think people take Nick Cannon seriously though. I watch people talk about him. Like, for example,
they don't take him seriously as a rapper.
As a rapper, I don't think they take him seriously as like, people think Nick Cannon is corny. People think he's corny. So, like, who's gonna waste time talking about Nick Cannon? It's not that important. You know what I'm saying? But if you were to really ask someone, they'd be like, bro, I don't want to talk about that. That guy's a fool. Like, nobody's saying, oh my God, Nick Cannon is so dope for having 12 kids with 6 different women. Nobody's saying that.
But the thing is, sorry to cut you, but I was gonna say, is that our community that's, because I feel like our community says that about Nick, but white people don't really have that same sentiment towards him.
We don't know what sentiment they have. I don't hear anything about him at all.
But I mean, just by going on, like, he's always on, like, these America Got Talent kind of show or whatever.
Well, he's not committing a crime.
And no, he's not. But, like, that's the type of stuff that, like, so if you want to call it scandal. No, I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying he doesn't get the same kind of.
I think one reason why this happens is because he's upfront with it. He's deliberate about it. Like, he's saying to you, I want to do this.
Yeah,
it's not like he's going around trying to, like, get different people pregnant and hide it. He's saying, no, this is what I'm trying to do.
They all know about it, and they're all, at least it appears that way, okay with it.
Right. So I think that's an element, maybe. You know, because I don't think people usually are against the act itself. People know people make mistakes. It's the deception that gets people. You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's why people just say, oh, it's Nick Cannon. I personally don't respect him. I think he's an idiot.
I mean, I was going to ask you guys, what is it about Nick Cannon that these women, because he has 6 different babies.
Money. Come on
money.
now. Come on now.
Tyreek Hill is the same thing as well, too. Tyreek Hill has, like, 3 baby moms that just had babies all basically the same time.
I don't think any amount of money would make me want to be in a position like that.
See, you're speaking from your perspective. There are many women right now, I could tell you, are not, like, when it comes to money, they'll do all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
All kinds.
Yep.
You've seen it. Come on.
Money doesn't have me that way.
Look at strip clubs.
No, I'm not.
If you want to see how money has a woman, just go to strip club.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just think it's really sad. That's what this world has come to.
Listen, you get a paycheck, you coming up. That's all people care about. What, I got to have a kid to come up? Give me one.
You know what? The other element of it too is that it could be a culture. It's a cultural thing. Although not all his women are African, I think some of them are Latina.
Yes.
But, like, that's common in a lot of African cultures, is having multiple wives or having at least a wife and then multiple.
Well, it's not common here.
Mistress. Yeah, it's not common.
Definitely.
It's not common here. It's common in other religions as well too,
Yes.
where multiple wives is allowed.
But he also acts like he's Afrocentric, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that vibe from him.
Yeah, he does.
Because I see him wearing that thing on his
The
head
turban and thing, yeah.
talk. I'm like, bro, like, stop talking, man. Stop it. You're not saying nothing that I want to hear. He's not saying nothing profound. Yeah. He might be talented as a host or whatever, but yeah, I don't like Nick Cannon is this is what he gets from me. That's all he gets. I don't really pay him no mind.
Yeah, no, I normally don't. It's just the holiday thing that I saw, because that looked weird to me. It's just seeing like 5 different posts with each.
What if they're all
family.
happy?
If they're all happy, then great.
But I mean, why would they not be happy? Let's go back to the money argument.
Right.
That's
So why is it a problem then?
It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
It sounds like it's a problem to you.
To me, no. I'm just saying that's just not something I would put myself into. But
Well, you're a woman. Women say all kinds of stuff.
what is that supposed to mean?
What is that supposed to mean?
You're not with me, bro?
No.
I don't get no.
I need to know what you mean first.
You're a woman. Women say all kinds
Okay,
of stuff.
I've heard these things. For example, I would never put myself in that situation. Oh my God, that's so terrible.
No,
and
no,
in
no. I said
tutus,
no
guess
amount-
who's in the situation?
I said
the
no.
same person who said that.
I said no amount of money would make me intentionally
Girl
put
hand.
myself in
People
that
say that
situation.
kind of stuff all the time.
Yes, but I'm not
And
people.
guess who's in the situation?
But I am,
Somebody.
But I am not people.
People are still in the situation. People are still in the situation. They
Yeah,
say
but
that and they're still in it.
That's people. That's not a woman thing.
Yes.
That's a
Thank
people
you.
thing.
No, but
That's not a
women
woman
say, but
thing.
we're talking specifically about relationships and money. Women say, "Oh, you can't get me with that," and they get caught all the time. They got.
Well, with those specific women involved in that situation, I don't know if they're the type that said like, oh,
Yeah,
like
no,
money
they-
can't buy me
no,
type.
they-
Of, I don't know if they're
definitely-
that type
But
of
I
woman.
guarantee you,
They
I
definitely
guarantee
said-
you, every single you hear this all the time because everybody wants to play this virtuous game. I'm a virtuous person. I would never do that. Oh my God, and they dance this way too. Oh my God, I'll never. And then tutus.
I mean, I don't know.
I disagree with you. I think there are women out there, and I don't think women are afraid to express themselves today, to say what it is that they want and what it is that they're looking for. And I think a lot of women are okay with saying, I want a man with money. As long as he's gonna give me money, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, there are a lot of women.
I know
especially in the
there
States,
are, but what I'm saying is, even the ones that say they don't, they get caught.
True.
This is what I'm saying.
But I don't think it's as common as women who actually.
I
say,
just think
"This
it's
is what I want."
it's justified differently. They just have different reasons why. Oh no, but it wasn't because of the money. The money's just a side effect. It was a cute. It was nice.
No. You're making women sound like they're idiots.
No, I'm not. I'm
Yes,
making
you
women
are,
sound like they're
and
women.
women-
Yo,
women
that
are idiots.
no.
I mean,
That's him.
There
His
are
view
some.
alone. I
there
do not
may be
stand by
some
him.
Women
on that
out
view.
there that are like that, but you're making it seem like our species have no sense.
But my species has no sense. So
Trust
why
me,
we
you
both
don't-
have no sense?
You don't want to.
So then that's a people thing.
No,
a
the
people
money part
Even
is
still,
a woman thing. That's what I'm
No,
saying. They get caught by. Listen, women go. This is a fact.
Well, what about
This
Women
is
go.
not a fact.
Women when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to security, when it comes to age, women go equal or up. Right? Men go equal or below. They don't care about that. This is a fact. When it comes to other things that we could talk about, the way the different sexes operate, but at this moment we're talking about money
Right, but we're not just talking
and
about.
security. Right?
These women are gold diggers.
No, it's just women. It's just how the women think.
But I'm talking about Nick Cannon's baby mamas. I'm not talking about women as a whole.
Yeah, but I thought we already did this with him.
No, you did that with him. Girl hand was still making her point.
You did that with him. You just
You
made
did
it
that.
into a woman thing. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not talking
Yeah.
Yeah,
about.
Nick Cannon's an idiot, man. He's an idiot, fam.
I mean, I will say the one interesting thing that I always do hear about him is that he does make an effort to be in his children's life.
You
and I
can't be
think-
But
in
how much
12
of
kids
it-
alive.
But
How
yeah,
much of an
that's the
effort can
thing.
you actually
You
make?
for example, take for example that one day. How many hours are you spending with them?
Well, that's the thing, right? He's probably spending like 2-3 hours at a
Not
time,
even.
and then dipping, right?
12 kids, that's an hour. An hour each is 12 hours.
No, but like there's like 5 in one house, 4 in another house, 3 in another house. So he's not going to like 12
He's going
different
6
houses.
different
Yeah,
houses.
he's going to 6
6 different houses?
But
Yeah.
still.
And
like,
with time zone change, you can do that. You start on the East Coast and you go to the West Coast, which is I'm pretty sure what he did.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
You got to
That's
factor in the
crazy.
time zone.
I don't respect any
I
of
just
that.
don't know how much of a positive impact that could have on your children. And I think people forget that piece. Like, yes, you can have all the money in the world. And you could say, you know what? Nick Cannon is a rich man. He can afford to take care of all these different households or all these different kids. But presence is so important.
Presence is
And-
very important. Yeah.
Can he provide that?
Not all
And
the time.
I don't think
Obviously not.
an hour here or 2 hours there dividing your day into seeing all your kids.
I don't
is
think that's
enough.
his aim, though. That's not his goal. His goal is not to be present. His goal is to have the.
No, he does like that is his goal, to be present as much as
He can't be present. That's impossible.
Right.
To be as much as
And
he
I think
can.
celebrities, that's not their goal, because they have nannies, and nannies spend time with their kids and all that. So they know they can't be that. So again,
Like, money's not the only thing to raise a child.
This is very true.
Nick Cannon is a.
This is very true. I just wonder what happens when one child in one state has their championship game, and another child on the same day in another state has their championship game as well too, because they're going to be going to school relatively the same time.
He's gonna say, "Sweetie, sorry, I can't come to yours today, but I'll come to yours tomorrow."
Yeah.
It's
How
like
disappointing
let's
will that
postpone
be?
the whole championship game to tomorrow so I can be there.
He could pay for
And he
it.
probably could do
He
that.
probably could do
He
that.
could pay for it.
He
So.
probably could do that. I feel like that's like LeBron James. LeBron James is like, yo, the day my son plays is like, yo, I gotta say bye to the Lakers. Like, you know what I
That's
mean? Like,
crazy.
That's nuts.
Nobody else can do that.
Right.
Anyways, so you think we've had enough today?
Yep. That is a fuckery topic, I would say. We had a lot of fuckery topic here.
Yeah,
without
I think
Linky.
that's all. I know. That's so interesting. Linky, next week we got you. Yeah, we have some deep topics next week when you come back.
I'm
Yeah,
sure if
yeah,
Linky
yeah.
was here, he'd be defending the women.
You be defending Sting and the daggering on the bicycle. And you're gonna be like, yo, that's how you guys have me? Yeah, that's how we have you. you had daggering on your show, on the Tuesday night show. Come on now, bro.
In
Anyways,
the studio?
I don't know where.
No,
I
it's
don't know
Instagram.
where.
It's like-
This guy
It's you know,
kills me.
Instagram Live, like.
Oh,
This
so,
guy-
Or live at the
so
same- yeah.
they,
This guy
they
kills me.
plug in on the live and then
Yeah,
they dagger on the
yeah.
live and okay.
Yeah, so with that said, folks, thank you for joining us. And remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment at the bottom.
Yeah, comment.
Comment at the bottom. And we thank you for your support. And keep it coming.
And since it's the last episode of 2023, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
We should have had some like hats.
What do you
and
call it?
those
Confettis.
glowing things
I
and
know. We're so
confetti.
lame.
I know.
Sorry, guys.
Next time.
Just
time.
do
Sorry.
a filter. Do a filter with
next,
all of that.
next time.
New Year's Eve filter.
And we are out from Deep Organic Phuckery.